What's up, everyone? It's Friday, and it's time for another BRAP rant. I shouldn't say I haven't done one in a while. Did one last week, and last Sunday's BRAP rant was, a BRAP rant. It was pretty rantish, as they say. So, but got a lot to talk about today's BRAP rant. We're going to discuss, is Sony overcharging for Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut DLC, more specifically the upgrade? And also big news regarding Hideo Kojima and his relationship or potentially next game with Microsoft Xbox. So let's officially kick off this BRAP rant right now. All right, everyone, again, happy Saturday, and I'm going to try to look at the camera. I'm not used to looking at the camera, so I'll do my best to look at the camera. Maybe, cut a promo real quick, wrestling promo. But I want to give a shout out to everyone in the live chat who's here right now. Big shout out to Warrior Work Gaming, who was on Crossfire with me last night. Great Crossfire, by the way. Great show. Excuse me. Yeah, just great show all around. So it's interesting. Lots to talk about as relates to Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. And by the way, is Director's Cut like now? Is this like the what people are or what developers are calling remakes or things like that? Like, is that kind of the new thing, the new phrase, Director's Cut? Make it sound kind of fancy, I guess. I don't know. But so Sony yesterday announced Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. And I'm sorry, it wasn't yesterday. It was July 1st. Today's July 3rd. By the way, happy 4th of July weekend, by the way, for those in the United States. Sony announced Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut that's coming to PlayStation 4 and PS5 on August 20th. So that comes out next month. Now, this game released last year, 2020. I believe it was July 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, but I think it was. But yeah, so Sony is, just to kind of give you an idea what the Director's Cut has. It is going to provide what seems like potentially a significant expansion in the story by adding a new map. So Jin, who's the main protagonist of Ghost of Tsushima, which, by the way, if you haven't played this game, it's a really good game. One of my favorite games of last console generation. And wow. Sucker Punch just did a tremendous job with this game. And again, it's one of my favorite games of last console generation. And probably one of my favorite games last year as well. But Jin, who's the main protagonist, he's going to travel now. He's going to travel to, I think it's called, I hope I'm reading this correctly, Iki Island. I don't even know if that's correct. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but which neighbors the island of Tsushima. So Jin is there to look into rumors that Mongols are there. But basically what's going to happen is that he's going to deal with some issues from his earlier life. And, there's going to be another character, things like that. So there's going to be fresh abilities, mini games, enemies, armors, and apparently animals to pet. I don't know if I'm not really interested in petting animals, but anyhow. So Link in the live chat saying the island of Ikishima. Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. And looks like they're also adding. Okay, so I'll get to. Sorry, reading the live chat. I'll get into some of the other things that the director's cut is going to have as well. So So as I mentioned, the island of Iki seems like a significant expansion. Obviously we need to see a little bit more in terms of how fleshed out this new adventure is. But it sounds like it's going to be a significant DLC. Again, we'll see, as they show us more or reveal more about this new expansion. So the one thing I do want to add too regarding Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost, I don't even think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Where's Creative Kofi at when you need him? I think it's Tsushima. I think as he uh, instructed us to pronounce it. Anyhow, so if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, there was a free update or DLC for uh, the Ghost of Tsushima in 2020. That was a multiplayer. I think it was the Legends co-op is what it was called, Ghost Legends, which was a co-op experience. Allows you to do different types of co-op multiplayer modes, where you could do like story-driven missions, or you could do like basically like the equivalent to like a horde mode, what you have in Gears of War, where there's different enemy waves, and each enemy wave gets more challenging and things like that. You can play that with friends, and you can update. You can earn like new armor sets, upgrade your character class. I think it's 4 different character classes. Anyhow, that was free last year, so that was awesome. That Sucker Punch, and that really kind of came out of left field. Like I don't think anyone knew that Sucker Punch was going to add or release this free DLC, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, last year, but they did that. So kudos to them. So now there are going to be some additional updates for Ghost of Tsushima Legends co-op experience. And there's going to be a new mode, but they haven't talked about that or mentioned kind of exactly what that's going to be. Now, here's what's got a lot of people upset. Maybe, well, I should say upset, but here's what has people kind of how do I say not happy with how the pricing of Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So this game's coming to PS5, and now you have the Director's Cut. Now, if you own the PlayStation 4 version already, which I have, I bought the game on PlayStation 4. And I think many of us who have played it and have a PS5 bought on PlayStation 4. So for those of us like myself, PlayStation 4, I have the PlayStation 4 version. Now it's to get the PlayStation 5 version of this game, it's going to cost me $30. And essentially what that PlayStation 5 version of the game does is gives you the additional bells and whistles, if you will, with haptic feedback controllers, 3D audio, Japanese lip syncing. What else? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, like 4K, 60 frames, things like that. If you get the PlayStation 4 version, it's going to be $20 basically on the PS4. Okay, so you have $30 for Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut on PlayStation 5, which again includes the new map and the bells and whistles of the PlayStation 5. Or if you have the PlayStation 4, you're going to pay $20 for the new DLC, and you're not going to get any of the 3D audio or haptic feedback because those feature sets aren't available on PlayStation 4. Now, here's I think where people have gotten don't agree with the pricing here. If you have the PlayStation 4 version, right, and let's say you pay you're going to pay $20 for it. If you've already owned it previously on PlayStation 4, you're going to pay $20. I should also mention, though, if you have never owned the game, the PlayStation 4 version of the Director's Cut will cost $60, and the PS5 version of the game will cost $70 if you have never owned the game. So I've seen some people kind of go back and forth with the $60, $70 price point for the game, saying, hey, wait a minute, the game's a year old, it should be discounted, those kinds of things. I get that point, where, games that are typically, older are typically discounted, except for Nintendo. And and there may be some other examples that I'm not that aren't coming to mind now that where maybe they weren't discounted per se, but even then, $60 for the amount of content that you're getting, though, and I'm looking at it not just from, in my opinion, I'm not looking at this from a situation where, you know, the game was released a year ago, therefore it should be cheaper. I'm also looking at this from a content perspective. If I'm new to the series, am I getting a lot of content for my money? You know, is there value in that for me? Now, me personally, if I had never played the game, if I'd never played Ghost of Tsushima, I would probably happily pay $70 for the game, just given how much content is going to be packed into that game with the main storyline, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and then this new expansion DLC as well. So to me, worth the price of admission. Now, that's me. Now, if someone else doesn't agree with that, that's fine. And that's kind of the back and forth I've been seeing with people on the Twitters, the gaming Twitters, where some individuals are kind of like, well, you know what? You're wrong for, you know, paying $70. You're part of the problem. Shame on you. Shame, 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 shame. Look, I think if it's not for you, that's fine. I think if you make an argument that, you know what, I don't want to pay $70, it's ridiculous. Cool. Free consumer market. Do what you want with your wallet. In the same breath, though, if somebody sees value in that, if somebody sees $70 and says, you know what, that $70 price tag that they're charging for this director's cut, I see value in that. I see value in that. So, you know, if I see, that's my son, by the way. If I see value in that, then, hey, no harm, no foul. Big shout out to my man B Money 101. The live chat says this is just like the Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition. This is true, B. B, by the way, man, if you can, B Money, hop into the BRAP rant. I did drop the link in the BRAP DM on Twitter, B Money. So if you can, man, hop in. Love to get your thoughts on this as well live. So, all right. So that's kind of my thoughts on the, you know, $60, $70 price tag of the director's cut. Again, I think if you find value in it, hey, go out, buy it. If you think if that's something you want, no different from any other consumer item that consumers purchase. If they're interested in it, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it, you know? So, and that's, look, that's just ultimately the market's going to dictate whether or not these price points work. Because consumers are either going to say, you know what, there's going to be a consensus that says, you know what, we're not supporting this model. It's just not going to happen. But on the flip side, you may have the consensus of, you know what, this is okay. We're going to do this. I mean, this is why, unfortunately, and I don't agree with egregious microtransactions, why we have microtransactions. There's a market there for that, you know, and I think I mentioned this on Crossfire yesterday. I think what we're seeing now is kind of we're seeing, like, the gaming market's so big, right? It's like what, billions and billions of dollars, right? Bigger than the movie industry, you know, bigger than excuse me, bigger than movies, music, things like that. And those industries, we've seen divergent business models come up from those industries. We haven't really seen that in gaming, I don't think, where, you know, gaming has traditionally been, you know, you go to GameStop, Best Buy, whatever, you buy a game, Walmart, you buy the game physically, or you go to a digital storefront, you buy the game digitally. Now we have things like Xbox Game Pass, right? Which is like the Netflix of gaming. And then you have Sony's traditional model, right? And Nintendo kind of doing more of a traditional model as well. The reality is both of those models could probably thrive and be successful in a $1 billion industry that really hasn't hit its maturation point yet. You know, we haven't hit that critical mass yet in gaming. You know, I think Phil Spencer's kind of talked about that, where there's opportunities for them to kind of grow outside the console space. And look, gaming's much bigger than consoles. It's mobile, VR, PC, which PC is the best place to play video games. I'll say that. Yeah, B Money, I saw your post, man. B posted something on Twitter, his friends list on PlayStation. I think he said, like, was it 90 friends that had pre-ordered it on your friends list? Key up 901 says, that's right, PCMR. That's right, man. PCMR, baby. Yeah, P, I don't remember how many friends you said, but I did see that. You know what, guys? Give me a sec here. I'm going to turn off my mic for a sec because I got to get something to drink real quick. My drink's actually on the other side of the room over there. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me turn my camera back on here. All right, so how to get a drink. All right, so okay, B Money saying 90 individuals on his friends list have pre-ordered Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and he said one friend on his list ordered Battlefield 2042. So, but like I would say, like the industry's so big now. It's not just about, it doesn't revolve around console gaming. There's mobile now. Obviously Microsoft's looking to tap into that market, but this is $1 billion industry. So again, my point is, I think you'll probably see both models probably be successful in reality. I don't think it's a winner take all situation. This isn't sports. It's there's no trophy here per se. Even though some console gamers will treat this as a winner take all situation, it's not that anymore. Maybe it was in previous generations, but the market's changing. It just like television and movies and music, you're seeing the consumption of gaming media evolve and change and very much mirror what we're seeing in other forms of entertainment. And I feel like gaming, for all of its cutting edge technology that you see in consoles and on the PC side of things, and with things like virtual reality, I think it's lagged behind movies, music, and television in terms of its distribution and how people consume the gaming medium. It really has. I mean, you go back to 2013, remember the whole DMR conversation. Oh my God, DMR, remember that? And look, here we are, and DMR is a thing. So, it seems like that part of the industry is kind of lagged behind, and now it's starting to evolve per se. So, and that's why I think you'll still see, just like you do in television and music, that some traditional models, there could be some slight involvement, but for the most part, you have various models, right, at play and how people consume entertainment, and it's not a one size fits all type thing. Obviously, the movie theaters haven't closed because HBO and because of Netflix or anything like that, right? So anyhow, I don't think, going back to this whole Ghost of Tsushima thing. Sorry, great conversation, live chat, by the way. And by the way, everyone in the live chat, if you haven't done so already, please retweet the link to the show. I'm going to go ahead and drop it right now in the live chat. All right, please retweet the link, please. I appreciate it. So, so now there's the issue with Ghost of Tsushima, and hold on, I got my man Slow-Mo Backslap here, just joined.
Yo, what up?
What's up, Slow-Mo? Derek Graham. Oh my God, you still got that up, man.
Oh, I gotta change that. Yeah, shout out to old Decker. My spawn of my loins, Decker. Let me get that.
Oh, bro, you can't say I'm taking a trick, man. I wasn't ready for that, Slow-mo. The spawn of my loins, Jesus.
Hope everyone's having a good day.
I'm just ranting, man. I'm happy that you could join Slow-mo because I know we talked
what are we
a little
ranting about.
Well, we're ranting about the Ghost of Tsushima, the pricing, the $10 upgrade to PlayStation 4, PS5, and I kind of went on a rant about the gaming industry and how you have different ways to consume gaming as you do now, and like movies, television, music, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going like there's a method to my madness here, by the way, and where I'm going with this. But you saw the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut announcement, Slow-mo,
right?
$30 price point if you own it on PlayStation 4. If you have a PS5, if you only own PlayStation 4, you already own the game. It's $20. Now, if you want to upgrade to the PS5 version,
It's a
from
$10
PS4,
kicker.
you gotta throw in an extra $10, and that's kind of where people are also like, oh, well, wait a minute, like this is terrible how they're doing this,
over $10.
Well, I mean, look, go ahead, Slow-mo, go ahead, man.
Okay, so I said this yesterday, and I'm gonna say it again. The value of something is always going to be subjective. It's always going to be like what you value, Enrique, may be different than what I value.
Absolutely.
You like From Software games.
There you
I
go.
have zero desire to play those games. If From Software came out and said, we're doing Bloodborne 2, how much money would you be willing to spend on that?
Man, I would spend $100.
Yep, and that's I think a lot of From Software fans would be right along there with you. So if they came out and they said, yo, it's $100, y'all will complain because it's more than what you expected. But at the end of the day, you're going to be playing Bloodborne 2 with a big grin on your face. I don't care about From Software games. And it's just maybe my opinion. I look at them, I just think, I don't get it. It looks janky, and I see no desire to play those kind of games. That's my opinion, right? So if someone gave me Bloodborne 2 for free, it's not getting played because I don't want it. Value is subjective. It's different for every single person. So Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. They got a new island. You got quality of life improvements. You got actual 4K coming, and not the 1800p that it was before. You got 60 frames per second, which was already there for free. You already got Legends for free. They're giving you more for Legends. The only difference is that on PlayStation 5, you're going to have the DualSense controller. You're going to have 3D audio. It's a $10 kick. It's a $10 kick. Take it or leave it. If you really love Ghost of Tsushima and you really can't wait to jump into more of what that world has to offer, more of what's going to go on with Legends, if you want to play through the experience again, you're going to spend the money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you also feel like, hey, I don't like that they're spending more on that, there's nothing wrong with that either. The issue is when I feel how I feel, what I value in this product, and say, y'all are frauds, y'all are wrong because you don't agree with my subjective view of value on this product. You can't project your personal feelings on what is a certain value on other people, period. And so when people keep doing this, you just look foolish yourself, because what you're really trying to tell us is that everyone has to conform to your point of view, period. But that's just not reality. That's not life. And it's sad that like
point, man.
There's no level of maturity in this gaming community where people can process that, understand it, and not look like a crazy person.
Yeah, Slow-mo, I think that's a great point, and that's kind of where I was leading with the conversation. That, look, at the end of the day, I said this on Crossfire last night, which was really lived up to its name, Crossfire.
Oh yeah, I gotta check it out, man. I missed it. I was busy with family.
It was a really good show, man. And big shout out to my man, our good friend Eric Jackson. He was in there dropping knowledge bombs as he usually does, but
as usual.
As usual. And I said, so it's like, to your point, I agree with you, Slow-Mo. It's not what I'm seeing is you're wrong if you're okay with a $10 upgrade, right? Like you are accosted and being labeled as the problem, right? When reality is it's a free market, it's a consumer market. This is how the consumer market works with any other product, right? Mm-hmm. Any other product. You go to McDonald's, you want those large fries, guess what they do? They charge you extra, right?
Yep.
I mean, same thing at Chick-fil-A. You go to Chick-fil-A, you want the large fry meal, whatever, they charge you for that. Again, you don't have to buy it. Me personally, I don't see the value in the extra waffle fries at Chick-fil-A. Just not for me, right? I don't see value in it. Someone else might. The car behind me might. I'm not going to turn around and be like, you're part of the problem. You know what I mean? How dare you supersize your meal? But that's just a great point, Slim. It's really, value is subjective. Like, you asked me the question about, if Bloodborne 2 came out, I'm not lying when I say I would pay $100 for it. If they were like, hey, you can get this game for $100, we'll make it, I'd be like, sold. Sign me up. And you might be looking at me, Slow-Mo, like, man, Enrique's crazy. This guy's lost his mind, right? Because you don't see value in that game. So I don't.
Well, I wouldn't say you lost your mind. I would just say, look, it ain't for me. And I wouldn't spend my money, I might say the DM, but like, I wouldn't spend my money on that. But we got different tastes in games, which is fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with having different tastes in games and valuing things differently. The very same people who are up in arms about this, if, for example, if Xbox came out and priced Fable a different way than everything else, they would complain, but they would still get that game because it's what they care about. The same people who have issues with this seem to be completely silent when Nintendo re-releases Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for $10 more than what the original price was of the game when it first came out like 8 years ago. And how many upgrades they add to that? Not a single one.
They bumped the resolution. Yeah.
In 8 years, you couldn't do anything substantial to it. But $10 more to play that on the Switch. Silence. So it's interesting how people pick and choose when to be upset about certain things. It's interesting how people choose to be outraged over $10, which is basically their lunch break. I mean, that's you could skip lunch, and quite frankly, some of us need to skip lunch every now and then. So you could skip lunch on a Wednesday and pay for that upgrade. It's not that big a deal. It's $10, bro. But
I don't mean to interrupt you, Slow-Mo.
No, go ahead.
To your point, man, like that goes back to what you're saying about value. Value's in the eye of the beholder. And what I think what kind of bothers me a little bit is where people are saying things like, you're the problem, you're wrong. Look, if someone doesn't see value in this Ghost of Tsushima thing and they're upset about the $10 upgrade or whatever it is, cool. That's not for you. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? It doesn't impact me.
And you know what? And you know what else? I see people talking about how Microsoft doesn't do this, and that's cool, and that's great.
That's cool. Microsoft doesn't do it. Great
Microsoft isn't doing any kind of like upcharge for next generation, and that's a plus on their side for not doing that to their Xbox community. That said, just because Sony is doing that doesn't mean that, like, well, just because Microsoft is doing that doesn't mean Sony has to. They have to follow suit. So it's like it's there is a bonus to what Microsoft is doing, and that's a point in their favor. But it's not that big a deal. Like, you, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't like the worst thing in the world here. It's $10. It's a $10 difference, and we see it consistently with, for example, how Miles Morales was sold on PlayStation 4 compared to PlayStation 5. It was a, what was it, $50 game, I think, on PS4, and then 60 on PlayStation 5. It's consistent with that. So, like, it's always going to end up being what you value at the end of the day. It's what you value. If you feel it, and I there will be people who will see things and they'll say it's the principle of the matter. I got no problem with that either. I got no problem with anyone having a personal opinion about what they value personally and what they will spend money on. And there are people that we know who are like, I'm not spending $70 on any game. I don't think any game is worth $70, and that's cool too. If you really feel that way and you feel like nothing is worth 70 bones, good. Okay. So what you're saying is that you're going to wait on sales. You're going to wait until that game goes on sale.
Which is totally fine.
Which is totally fine. Because if you really didn't feel so, like, tuned in that I have to play this game right then and now, you're probably going to sit in your backlog anyway. So you're really doing yourself a favor, because some of us buy games at full price at launch and don't play it until 5 months later. And then if you look at that same price of that game, when you finally decide to play, you go, oh man, I wasted money. Because that game's down $30, $40. And I bought it at full price at launch and still played something else. We can play about our backlogs, and then we do this. You know, it's this whole conversation is just so childish, man. It's wild. It's wild to me. That people just can't get this, but it is what it is, man.
Well, I think what, unfortunately, what's happened is that it's become a Xbox versus PlayStation thing. Unfortunately, you know. And hey, look, you could have a conversation around, you know, the company's different approaches to content, right? And that's fine, that's fair, whatever, right? But it always becomes like this thing of the conversation always becomes Xbox versus PlayStation or PlayStation versus Xbox, because, you know, there's extreme views on both sides where it's like, you know what, it's like we got to one up the other side. It's like, for what? Why? You know, it's ridiculous. And again, to your point about, you know, value, this idea of value, this idea of different pricing models isn't new to consumer markets. It may be, maybe to an extent it's new to gaming a little bit, which is what I was discussing a little bit earlier in the show about, you know, things like, you know, television, movies, you know, how we could, cable TV, how we consume those things, much different than gaming. Gaming's kind of been stuck per se in this traditional model for such a long, up until really till Game Pass came out, right? And the digital, you know, the digital storefronts really last generation really propped up a lot as well, where you saw kind of that tipping point where people were, you know, 50-50 in terms of buying content digitally versus buying it physically. But this idea of value, it's not new to gaming. You know, it's none of this is new. You know, none of this is new. People go out and pay $4 or $5 for Starbucks, right? For one coffee, and you can go out to your local grocery store and buy a bag for that much and have like 20 cups of coffee, right?
Right.
But that person sees value in Starbucks. They like what Starbucks is, you know, roasting, I guess, whatever, it, you know, right. I don't want to say cooking, you don't cook coffee.
And you know, also, if it turns out that their opinion on what they view the differences between PlayStation 5, just standard experience, DualSense 3D audio, is compared to PlayStation 4 is so drastic that it deserves to be a $10 difference across the board. If the overall market of people don't agree with that, the market will show that they don't agree with that. And the publisher, platform holder, developer, whoever is doing that will see the effects of that. If they overprice their product, you're gonna know you overprice your product because people don't see value in it and they're not gonna buy it. But what I think the issue is what people know that Sony is doing this, and they're likely doing it as just a $10 upgrade because people will just eat the cost and say, cool. And they don't like that, but they also know that people will spend on that. And they're mad that people, how about other people are going to spend their money?
Mm-hmm.
They're pocket watching, basically.
I mean, you know what's interesting is this guy. I'm going to pull this up real quick. So the coffee reference I just made. Wowza55 says if two places offer the same coffee, one charges more. Would that be fair? I can tell you right now,
coffee is not created equal.
That happens. Yeah, but that happens right now, though. Think about it, right?
Yeah. Like is that fair?
McDonald's is cheaper than Starbucks. It's coffee, but people like Starbucks.
There are coffee experts, connoisseurs, coffee enthusiasts that will tell you absolutely it's fair. Not all coffee is created equal. If you want some swill for a couple of bucks, you can drink that swill. I'm gonna go get the gourmet stuff over here at my gourmet coffee shop right down the road from my business office, and I'm going to enjoy the goodness that they have, and I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts. Like that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Different value that other people have. Some people just like, coffee's coffee, man. I just need some caffeine in my system so I can get through the day. Yeah. And there are other people who are like, the taste has to be a certain kind. I want to have certain kinds of coffee. I need to go to Starbucks and get a venti latte or whatever you want to call it, because they got a completely different language there, whatever. Right? Like
it's like a medium coffee. They're like, sir, you want a grande? Yes, medium.
Right.
They always correct me. Oh, you mean grande? Yes, medium.
And I see other people in the chat saying things like, well, where is this energy for? And this is your typical, I'm defending my platform and I'm upset. Where is this energy when people hating on Game Pass? Where is this energy when people saying things about the Series S? And I'm just like, do you even know what our opinions are on those things? Or are you just immediately doing the brain dead fanboy thing? I'm not calling you dumb, but you're making a dumb point right now. The immediate brain dead fanboy thing of immediately assuming just because we have a stance on this topic, that all of our stances are fanboy stances all across the board. I own a Series S, so why would I be talking negatively about other people who own a Series S? I have Game Pass, and I've said that I believe Game Pass is a successful platform, that a successful model that will be a successful platform for Xbox in the future. I've said that too. So why can I say those things and you not even recognize that? But because I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with people finding value in the $10 upcharge with PlayStation 5, that all of a sudden that all the things I used to say before, they're completely thrown out the window.
Yeah, I just want to say something too. The upgrade isn't just like, I'm seeing stuff. Okay, I typically don't pull this stuff up, but for context here, so we can talk about this stuff as it comes up. Like this guy, JP Dunks says, of course you're not forced to buy it. They're still charging the most loyal customers a $10 tax for the same content. It's not this. The $10 increase is to get the feature sets of the PlayStation 5. That's not content. I just want to clarify that. Like the $10 surcharge, if you will, is to get haptic feedback, the 3D audio, and I forget what else, the 4K 60 stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're not getting anything for the additional $10, right? And again, that goes back to the point of value. Do you see value in that?
And if you don't see value in that, then you don't spend that money on that.
Yeah, you just don't spend the money at that. That's just simple as that. Hey, you know what? I'm not doing it. Wowza says, what I mean is if two developers offer same upgrades and one charges, should we not question? And again, I refer to Plague's Tale free upgrade and Ghost paid upgrade.
I need to know. Okay, so let me go look up a Plague's Tales upgrade because I don't know what comes in that. So I think it was just.
I think it may have. I have to look. But not every. But my point is, not every upgrade. And thank you for that point, by the way. Not every upgrade is the same across the board. Like B Money brought this up earlier. The Mortal Kombat Ultimate Edition, right, is essentially this. Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, so it looks like a Plague's Tales upgrade offers playing in 4K resolution, which is on console. So that's just a marketing term. We don't know if it's really 4K resolution or not. But regardless of that, at 60 frames per second, and let's see, faster loading times. That just comes with the hardware. Audio enhancement. That's good. Dual sense features. Again, these are things that are just come with being on the new platform, and cross progression. That's cool. Okay, so this is a free upgrade. This is being published by I think who is this? This is Focus Home Interactive, and of course developed by Asobo. Now Asobo and Focus Home decided we're going to do this as a free upgrade. They put that work in. They're not going to get any additional charges off of people who already spent money on the game for that. Awesome on their part. And awesome on the people. I played that game back in, I think, 2019. Great game. Love it. Played it on my PC, though, so I don't need a free upgrade. But if you want to play that game again with all the increased features, all you got to do is just reinstall it, get the PS5 version. You're good to go. Great. This doesn't change anything that we're saying. I want you guys to understand that. What we are trying to impart to you is that value is subjective. And the publisher for A Plague's Tale Innocence felt the value of those upgrades was not worth an additional charge. Sony feels like the value of their upgrades is worth an additional charge. Period. If you don't agree, you don't pay for it. If you do agree, spend your money, fam. That is it. Like nothing, no examples. Okay, here's an analogy. Okay, like no analogies change that. It is what it is. If you feel it's shady to do that, that is how you feel. It's shady. Don't spend the money. Case closed. like that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. Don't spend the money on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Let me grab the super chat here real quick.
PS4 version, then. I mean, what you want? What you want, fam? Come on.
I mean, yeah, you have the options here. You do have options. After his passion with the final super chat says, "What's up, Slow-Mo? Yes, value is relative, except for PCs, of course. Spent $3,000 for one, $3,000 for one more FPS over Series S. Haha, I love you, man."
Oh, you know what? After his passion, cool, homie. I do not agree with that at all. Okay, if I spent $3,000 on a PC, even today in this pandemic-ridden market right now, right? I'm spending half of that going towards these overpriced GPUs. on the reseller market because you can't buy MSRP. Right then and there, my PC is better than your Series X and your PlayStation 5. If I'm spending that much money to build my PC, I'm getting way more than just some extra frames per second. Series S, and before people get upset, I own one, and I'm completely fine with it for what the point of the reason why I bought it. I got no issues with it, but resolution sometimes drops below 1080p. Sometimes frame rate doesn't stay consistently at 60 frames per second. If you got a $3,000 PC, you're upset at even being at 60 frames per second. So that's the big difference there. Plus, we're talking about all the other graphical settings that are at ultra on PC that you guys don't even know what yours are set at on consoles. They're at low, mid, medium, sometimes below the PC version of low. So like it's not.
Oh my God.
But he did have a clarification. Shout out to After His Passion again with a 5,000 super chat saying clarification by value being relative. I mean relative to what a person defines as their value of any given thing. Slow-mo is correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So Slow-mo, what do you think about this, man?
$10 for a non-game feature, how shady. Yo, that is his opinion, and it seems like he's not going to spend money on it. Good for him.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's
again it. he doesn't see value in it. He's not buying it. That's it. You know. I mean, anyhow, yeah, I don't think there's anything else really to say about about the subject, man. I mean, I think again, people are going to find value and what they find value in, and like you said, Slow-mo, it's all subjective. It really is. And I for one didn't understand some of the outrage that I was seeing this week about this. I was kind of like, oh, okay, well then don't buy it. So but I do, before we wrap up, Slow-mo, do want to talk about one thing. Your famous line of never go full on Kojima.
Here we go.
So Hideo Kojima.
They're going full Kojima, huh? Xbox is going full Kojima now, huh?
Yes, his deal with Xbox has reached a milestone, per se. Hideo Kojima and Microsoft have signed a letter of intent that states the two parties intend to work out the details on a publishing agreement for a new Xbox game.
Okay, so look. Okay, so this is a cloud-based game, or whatever's going on is definitely going to be trying to take advantage of Azure. Yeah, Azure Cloud. Kojima. I'm telling you, this is one. I let me get this out the way before I explain. Never go full Kojima again for the viewing audience that hasn't heard me say that before. This is great for Xbox. Kojima is a big name. He has that cachet. He has a dedicated fan base that whatever he does, wherever he's at, whatever he makes, they show up for it. They're there for it. They're going to buy it. So this is and then one, it's an exclusive. So that's just a boon to the Xbox ecosystem overall. That's great. That gives the platform reasons to own it that other platforms don't have, and that's excellent. And the more they do that, the better. That said, you never go full Kojima. When you go full Kojima, you get doodoo bombs and PP bombs. Okay,
you love bringing up the doodoo bombs and PP bombs
because it's ridiculous, Enrique. That's why I keep bringing it up.
It's got a point. It's got a
when you go full Kojima, you get like 2-hour cutscenes. Okay, like
you get cans of Monster Energy drink.
Yes, he needs to just go make movies already. Okay, like it's
with doodoo bombs.
maybe it'll work out in Hollywood. All I'm saying is that
have you
Kojima was a necessary. I said Kojima. I always say Kojima when I mean Konami. Konami was a necessary evil. Yes, they are scumbags. Yes, they're in their Pachinko machines. Can't stand it. Right. But and yes, they're now licensing out their IP because they can't make games no more. But I think they were good balancing for Kojima. I think it was somebody that we know. I can't remember who it was that said that there was a employee that used to have worked with Kojima for a long time that was great at balancing Kojima out and telling him, that idea stinks. Don't do that. Don't implement that. He needs more of that. He needs people to say, hey, look, don't go full Kojima. You need to go half Kojima. Okay. We need diet Kojima right now, because when you go full on in with your ideas, you create some really creative nightmares that we don't really need to play.
By the way, his name is Tomokazu Fukushima.
Okay, like if I'm Xbox now,
he was the co-writer for Metal Gear Solid for many of them. He was like that balancing act.
If there are any Xbox executives listening to this right now, go find that guy. Give him whatever he wants. I don't care if he's retired, if he's working for someone else. Buy him out. Offer him the moon. Bring his ass in here on this so that he can actually be the balancing for Kojima, so that you can get the excellence that he had in the past and not Death Stranding. Like you want old school Metal Gear Solid Kojima. You want that kind of creativity, to kind of let me go have to plug my controller into the second controller port in order to beat this boss kind of Kojima. You don't want doo-doo bombs. We don't want doo-doo bombs. That's all I'm saying.
My goodness, man. You love bringing up the doo-doo bombs.
It is. It's always gonna get brought up because he did it. It is what it is. You got some.
What's funny?
You got some super chats though.
Yeah. Yep. We'll get those super chats in a sec. What's interesting about the doo-doo bombs? I was skeptical going into Death Stranding about doo-doo bombs, but then I was like, yeah, you know what? They actually work. When you're fighting, when you get dragged in by the BTs, or the BD, what are they? I forget what they're called. The BTs. I forget. When you're fighting their monster form or whatever, right? You get dragged off and you start lobbing these poo-poo bombs. You forget they're poo-poo bombs. But I don't know. It works, man. It just works. But that's kind of a good point about the poo-poo bomb stuff and never going full Kojima. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think this game, I would be surprised if this game appealed to a lot of people that own the Xbox console. I really do. I think it's going to be, if anything, it's going to be a cloud-based game. It's going to be an open world sandbox. We got hints of, I think, Kojima wanting to go that direction with Metal Gear Solid 5, and then really with Death Stranding, this kind of open sandbox where there's a lot of community interaction. Because that's what Death Stranding is too. There's a lot of things you could do that kind of promote community world building in Death Stranding. You build roads, you leave ladders behind for other players. You leave them hints.
What did he call that?
I forget what he called it.
I forgot what his he tried to act like it was a whole different genre. It's not. It's just like a feature, bro. But still, it's like I can't remember.
He gave it like a name. I remember. I know what you're talking about. He gave like a,
But I mean, like I can imagine extensively using cloud, how that he could be taking that a step further. Who knows what his idea is. I wouldn't even, it wouldn't even surprise me. Xbox doesn't even know what his idea is. They just want to get him in here. You just want to get whatever you're doing next exclusive. Go ham. We don't even know what it is, but good luck. Here's a blank check. Do what you need to do, kind of deal.
Do what you need to do, yeah.
They got the letter of intent signed, so like they've agreed on a framework verbally and now they just got to hash out the details and put it in writing, let the lawyers look it over, make sure everything is good to go, kind of stuff. But again, like this is, if you're still doing this at this point, then most likely we're probably not going to see this game for at least, I would say 3-4 years, right? So we're looking at like 2024,
3-4 years. Yeah, that's probably what's going to be. And it's going to be interesting how they use this cloud, because cloud's kind of one of those, we've heard about cloud for years, but I'm thinking maybe we finally see kind of what cloud could do in terms of AI, those kinds of things, smarter AI. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And I think maybe this game might push the limits, or maybe not even push the limits, but kind of show us what's possible in terms of cloud. Say no to doodle bombs, Jesus. May show us what cloud gaming could potentially do for developers, and the kind of experiences it could give us. So it's going to be interesting.
And Kojima, before you do super chats, Kojima's an innovator. Like, don't let my slander for this man get you thinking that I don't recognize that he is a major innovator. And him getting into implementing cloud in his next game is probably going to be, however it's received, it's probably going to be extremely influential in how the overall gaming industry starts to implement cloud too. Not straight on like just like xCloud, like playing the games in the cloud, but implementing cloud in various interesting and innovative ways in just the standard games that we play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great point there, Slow. Let me grab this super chat real quick. From Server Error with the $2 super chat, says Sony already did a free upgrade. Free Legends mode. They did do a free upgrade. Well, not upgrade, but they did a free update for Ghost of Tsushima with Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is really
excellent.
Excellent, yeah. So, and then our good buddy here, Mods Gaming, with a $10 super chat, says somebody must balance Kojima out.
Yeah, he did a clarification later on and said he meant someone must balance Kojima out.
Yes. All right.
Yep. Yeah. Agree, Mads. Agree, big time, Mads.
Yes. Never go full Kojima. I love that. It's so funny, man, because it's so true to that. Jeez, especially when you bring up doodoo bombs, Jeez, man. And the game. The game's actually, look, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good game, but yeah, you got me on the doodoo bombs thing. I don't know how to. I there's no way to spin that, and the pee-pee bombs. That's really a thing.
Oh man, yeah. But hopefully it's a great game. I can't wait. I can't wait for the first reveal so we can see what kind of like disaster this guy has put. Like, regardless of if it's amazing or if it's like the worst thing that has ever happened, it's going to be damn interesting to see what it turns out to be. Like, I can't wait to see that, regardless of how it turns out. I can't wait.
Oh my. And it's funny, man, if it's totally out there, you're just going to be laughing. Seriously, you're going to be like I'm just going to let you have the mic for the first 5 minutes of the show after the review and be like, Slow-mo, let us. And you're going to be like, I told you so. And I just have this sinking feeling you're going to be that this is going to happen. Where you're going to be like,
I told you this was going to happen. You just don't let this guy, get everything he wants. He needs to be balanced. I think we all know someone who's like so super unique and different, where it's like everything, they have like the greatest ideas. And sometimes they have the worst ideas, but they're always having ideas that's different than anyone else's ideas. Those kind of people, they always need the bland dude, the dude who's very grounded, who just kind of just sits there. They look at it and they just say, "Yo, bro, that's not going to work. And here's all the reasons why that's not going to work." And they are, and they don't mind telling the big creative person you're wrong. Because a lot of times people like that, they don't hear when they're wrong. People may think that they're wrong, but they don't say anything, especially when you're as big of a name as Kojima is. When you got Jeff Keighley, drooling over you every 5 seconds, and everything you do, people feel like it's gold. In those cases, there are very few dissenting voices in your circle, because everyone wants to be around you and tell you everything that you did and do is great.
It's great.
You need that person that goes, nah, this is why did you even make this? This is silly.
Doodle bumps.
Take this out of your game. This is silly, and at no point should you ever do anything like this again. They need that, and it's good for them. It's a good balance for them to help them stay focused on what the vision is, and not like go off on like creative tangents that don't just they're a detriment to their product overall.
Yeah, no, that is a great point, man. Great point. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting how this all plays out for Kojima and Xbox, but I'm sure we're going to hear more sooner than later. So real quick, want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you all for hanging out this morning for this quick BRAP rant, into my man Slow-Mo here for joining the BRAP rant as well. Slow-Mo, always a pleasure, man.
Always, man.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, and let everyone know who can find you. I'm sure they know, but there might be there's some newbies in here, some new faces I've seen. So let them know they can find you.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Slow-Mo Backslap. I'm actually going to change my name now from saying no to doodle bombs to how my name is spelled on YouTube. It's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter with the same name as well. Man, I just misspelled my own name. Good grief.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right? Like, what am I doing here? How do you misspell your own name, Slow-Mo? But yeah, I make videos about video games. I also have a podcast, Damage Per Second Podcast, DPS Podcast, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can check next week's episode will be on my channel, and then we go back and forth between myself and the homie Gaming Forte, who's also a part of the BRAP podcast as well. And yeah, check the channel out. I upload videos, my opinions on things. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But just come check it out. If you like it, subscribe.
Yeah, no doubt. Great show on Thursday, by the way, as well, Slow-Mo. So,
thanks.
And big shout to.
I had all kinds of technical difficulties also.
Yeah, I know, man. It's all good, man. And big shout out to Gaming Forte. And big shout out to Eric Jackson and B Money 101 as well, who's actually in the live chat today. But yeah, everyone, look, have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy your time gaming. And for those in the U.S., happy 4th of July. I am not a big 4th of July fan, to be honest. Just not. But yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. And we'll see you this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So on that note, we're out. Peace.
Peace.